Thank you, Cindy, for those really beautiful remarks. I have to scan the crowd and see if there's anyone whose buildings I've trashed lately. Barbara, my wife, brought a bulletproof vest. I think I'm safe. Thank you so much, Cindy, for your beautiful remarks. I remember when you chaired the Cambridge Green public housing competition that the Tribune ran, and I just am so grateful for your support on that, and to be here with all the other winners who are being recognized. My job is a great job. I mean, being the critic of the Chicago Tribune is one of the best jobs in American journalism. You get to cover the work of architects like Adrian Smith and Gordon Gill, or review the movies of Judy McBrien, or the exhibitions of Zoe Ryan and her colleagues at the Art Institute. You get to have people like Frank Gehry and Donald Trump hang up on you. It's tremendous. And I didn't even mention Stanley Tigerman. Adrian told a great story about how the John Hancock Center came to be, and I'd just like to add a story of my own, which is how I got to meet Paul Gapp, my predecessor, who established the job of architecture critic at the Chicago Tribune. This was in 1986. I was at the Des Moines Register at the time, and I was interviewing with Richard Ciccone, the managing editor of the Chicago Tribune, an ex-Marine who liked to show off his biceps by wearing short-sleeved shirts. So he was sitting behind his magisterial desk in the Tribune Tower, and I was sitting in front of him, quaking, hoping that I would get hired. And he asked me, what do you want to do in 5 years? And I said, my voice kind of trembling, well, Mr. Ciccone, sir, someday I'd maybe like to be the architecture critic here. And he said, well, you're probably wondering how old Gapp is. It's crossed my mind, and so he picked up his phone, one of those old push-button phones, and he goes, personnel, this is Ciccone. How old's Gapp? Chicago, right? So 56, 57, okay. So then Dick knew Paul really well, and as you all know, Paul was a wonderful man, and he knew him well enough to yank his chain pretty well, and so he next picked up the phone and called up Paul, and he goes, Gapp, this is Ciccone. I got this guy in here who wants your job. Get in here. And that's how I met Paul Gapp. So, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here.